Greetings. Today we're going to be talking about Chapter 4, Leadership and the Project Manager. During this chapter, we have the unit outcomes of to be able to understand and discuss how project management is a leader-intensive profession, and to demonstrate your knowledge of the many qualities a project manager must have. Project managers, as you have already learned, have to be able to do many things. They must have great communication skills. They must be able to direct project planning, to define the scope in conjunction with the stakeholders, create the work breakdown structure in conjunction with the team members, and you're going to learn to do a work breakdown structure. They must be able to estimate the time and cost with the team members, obtain staff, make decisions. Many other qualities are listed in your textbook of what project managers need to be able to do. So we're talking about leadership today, and leadership is the ability to inspire confidence and support among the people who are needed to achieve organizational goals. And that comes directly from your textbook on page 122. This is one of the most important characteristics of a project manager. Let's think back about Apple Computing. They fired Steve Jobs, and before he came back, Apple was just a $3 billion company. When he came back and began innovative products with the iPhone, the iPod, the iPads, so forth and so on, before he died, the company was back to a $350 billion in revenue company. So the innovations that he put forth were very important and continue to be important to Apple Computing. Now let's think about all the things that have happened because of the pandemic. GE Healthcare retooled from making 1,000 ventilators a year to making hundreds a week. And they're still going strong making ventilators for people around the world. So that was an innovative project that had to be led and brought forth in innovative and quick ways. Just think back on how quickly they were able to do that. Then there's been a lot of bioengineering for COVID-19, ways to prevent it, ways to treat it. All of those kinds of things have come about, and those are big projects that are going on around the world. Then we have SpaceX. We've discussed this before. This was a huge project, probably multiple projects within a project, and right now they're in the execution phase of the project to get the astronauts to the space station. And that has happened, and then of course they've done a spacewalk, and there's going to be many other projects that are going to be completed before they come back to Earth. SpaceX is one of the most innovative companies out there, and they were working in a partnership with NASA. And now their next goal is the moon, and after that, Mars. Now, NASA has had a project team of going to Mars for years. And now with the advent of private corporation, that's going to become a reality. The PMBOK, the Project Management Body of Knowledge, has developed a project manager skills triangle. At the very top are those leadership skills we're talking about today. They must also have strategic and business skills and technical project management skills. Before project management projects became the norm for companies and organizations, oftentimes the engineers, the computer programmers, those kinds of technical experts were put in the place of project managers and made the project management team. The problem with that is oftentimes those types of people, while experts and absolutely wonderful in their fields, lack the soft skills that are needed by a project manager. So, projects must be partnerships. Most leaders don't think of themselves as a sole reason for success. Good project managers develop partnerships with their teams. So to do that, a book lists four things. One is the exchange of purpose, which is partnerships require that everyone on the team is responsible for defining the project's mission and goals. And communication from the PM is key here. Again, communication. And then a right to say no. We don't want yes men and women on our project team. We want them to come up with their own innovative ideas, to question what we're doing, to disagree when they think something is wrong, and share that with the partnership. Then we must have joint accountability, where everyone enjoys the successes or failures of the project along the way. Everyone is responsible. And then absolute honesty. Any partnership demands authenticity, and there's a pact here that all info, good or bad, is shared. So it's important that all things are brought forward during the project. We don't want something bad happening and hiding it from the project team and then have it come back and bite us later. So absolute honesty is key. So we have leaders versus managers. Your book talks a lot about this on page 123 in your text. I've chosen a few. Leaders rely on interpersonal relationship in ways that managers do not. Managers demand respect and leaders command respect. Just think about a functional manager. There's a chain of command, a hierarchy, if you will, and he's got the control. And people are told to do their jobs, how to do their jobs, and maintain the status quo. Leaders, however, develop new processes. Leaders are innovative, and they come up with many new ideas and are able to take them to the fore. Leaders focus on people, and managers focus on systems. So, conclusion about project leaders. As we've said over and over, they must have great communication skills. They have to talk with the top management all the way down to the functional employees beyond the project team even. They must be flexible without having too much stress. There are going to be things that happen during a project, most of them bad, where you've got to put out fires, you might have problems between people, and many other things can go wrong or right in a project. But a leader must be able to, and a project leader must be able to handle these things without getting stressed out. They must work with and through the project team. They're going to be working with these people for sometimes years, and they must be able to work with them as in a partnership, as we've discussed. Then they must be skilled at various influence tactics. One of the things they talked about in a project manager being an influencer is in negotiations. Often projects are not fully funded, they don't have enough people, they're working with time constraints, budget constraints, and the project manager needs to be able to negotiate with top management and the project sponsor to get the resources that he or she needs. They also have to work with functional managers, functional people, and be able to influence them to the purpose of the project and be able to make sure that he or she can be successful. So, project management professionalism. No longer an outlier. Projects are routinely part of every organization in today's business environment. So projects used to be unusual to be happening in an organization. And we've talked about this with the global competition that's happening now and people working together all over the globe. Projects are the norm. So there needs to be a career path for project managers. They are a critical resource. Just think about the experience that a project manager has garnered during a career. So they are very important to organizations. Often they don't match personalities with project work. And that has to be done. Just think of the personality of Elon Musk. Now, he's not the project manager, but he's the project sponsor. And the project manager that's able to work with his quick thinking, innovative ideas has to be on the same page. And they also need professional training, and organizations need to make sure that they get this. One of the places they can get it is Project Management Institute, and following the PMBOK. There are several certification levels for project managers. And then an organization needs to develop a reward system for project managers. Over and above their salaries, they need to be rewarded for good work. So we've talked about leadership and the project manager. You're going to have the opportunity to discuss the difference between leadership and management. We've discussed how project management is a leader-intensive profession, and we're giving you an opportunity to demonstrate your knowledge of the many qualities a project manager must have.